can hear you typing pretty ferociously. Wow. Look at it. Look at this. It's interesting. Type in Kaiser Schuff and who, me? I'm not sure what's going on. Can anyone can you can hear me? Can he hear me? That would be me. That would be me. What I'll do is I'll show you what was happening the other day. I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna turn this up. I guess this is kind of how it works. Presumably, maybe not. No, I don't hear nothing. Yeah, how about that? There we go. Okay, I'm gonna mute that there, so I could hear myself. Yeah, no, no, it sound. Oh, he can't hear Kaiser. Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold it, hold it, hold it. Well, what you got? You got yourself muted, Kaiser. Well, let me show you. Do you know? Let me just show you something here, just so we can double check here. Okay. Now, screen share. You can do this or not? Yeah, yeah, that's a yes or no. Well, but yeah, yeah. Can you see me share? Can you see me sharing my screen with you right now? Okay, so is your now you see this stupid Korean bullshit here, but does your OBS look similar in this way with the two level the bars here basically? Okay. Well, you see this one here, and you can mute it there, right? And then you can also go down here and mute this one. Yeah, don't. So like if I mute this there, then I nobody can hear me when I'm doing a stream, right? So make sure that's all I can say. Is don't. Amazing. Well, I guess there's something more. That's go to help. Check for updates. Oh, hang on. No, you know where you go to is settings. That's where you'd go. Go to settings. Right. Well, here on the right hand side, bottom corner there. See stream, start recording, studio mode, settings, exit. What ver? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Click on settings, right, like that, and then you'll have. Yeah. See, that's how you all your funky stuff. Have you gone in there before or not? It's the first time. Well, there's well, audio's right down there, right? Well, let's see. I would probably just focus on audio for now, I'd imagine. Take a look at that. I mean, I've got nothing clicked here at all. Uh, default, everything's default, disabled, default, disabled, disabled. Fast, so you don't have any of that. You have nothing. No, don't. I wouldn't click those on. I don't think. You see the way I've got it set up here. Just leave it probably the same.
So I can get out of this, so I can actually see what you're sharing.
Did you change something?
Yeah. No, I didn't do anything, man. Can they hear me now? I have to have your stuff way big to look at it. And,
well, it's as big as I can make it. So you have to zoom your. Oh, hang on, maybe not. Let's see if I can do it this way. No, it's not going to work. No, you got to do it from your end there to zoom up a little bit.
Default. Fast. Let me go see now because I got to get in there now that I looked at it. I wasn't able to see it when I had this up. O'Shea. Automatically record when streaming. I have. Keep recording when stream stops. I don't know what that means. Automatically check for updates on startups. Open stats dialog on startups. Automatically record when streaming. Show confirmation dialog when stopping streams. Show confirmation.
Oh, you're in general.
Yeah. Well, now I'm going to source alignment. Enable. Snap sources. Okay, that's for pictures, I guess.
Yeah, that'll fuck. Don't mess around with those settings at all. That'll totally screw everything up, probably.
All right, now I'm in audio, and I got default. Device not connected. Okay.
Oh, that. Well, that might be an issue.
Yeah. Microphone. There we go.
It says device not connected.
Yeah. Or available. Microphone. I don't know how that happened, but that's what it says. Yeah. Desktop audio device number 2 disabled.
Right. Well, yeah, that's mine too. It's disabled. Where does it say not? Where does it say not connected?
Audio device number 2.
Yeah, but how about just a plain old desktop audio device? What does it say there?
Desktop default. Yeah.
Well, that's good. And then disabled, default, disabled. I mean, you only need one mic, as far as I understand.
Yeah, but I got the computer one, and then I got the mic override. Hey, now I'm showing up. I bet everybody can hear me now. Let's go see.
Yeah, they can hear you, said.
Cool. Okay, thank you, brother. This is why we did this. Thank you, Wilhelm, for letting us know, brother. We appreciate that. Now my streams and Jaffe's streams will be aces again. Today I have a show. Jaffe's on Korean time, so he's got to go eat dinner. And when he bounces
that's
out...
That's awesome. Way to go. Good job.
You helped me, brother. I couldn't have done it without you.
I think we will technical triangulation.
Yep, that's it. And if this is how this show starts, it's the best show. Hey, everybody remember, Tuesday, you're going to be able to listen to me and Jaffe. Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be doing a show together. It's the Midweek Muck Around on World Pirate Podcast Radio Network. And I think you guys will enjoy that show because we have lots of news. And I'm going to hit some news today. And then anything that breaks today, me and Jaffe can gang team it tomorrow. Trust me. We're going to have a good time. But, you want to stick around for a little bit, Jaffe, and I can touch on some of the news after I start my show? Because I'm going to play the music.
I got to go eat, man. It's almost 10 o'clock here. And then in the evening, I'm a pretty hungry camper. So, yeah. But I am looking forward to hooking up. And I really hope that we can get a couple more shows under our belt here before you head out, overseas again there. So you betcha.
All right, brother. Well, much love and much appreciation for all the help you gave. Thanks a lot, man.
Tally ho.
Tally ho, matey. All right, here we go. Get ready for the show.
You are listening to Kaisers Kastle.
Hey folks, welcome to Kaisers Kastle. You got a treat in the beginning because of my Gen X mode of posting. you got a little bit of IT support for OBS. So any of you guys using OBS, now you know. All right, here's what I wanted to handle today. As you all know, this last week, it's been eventful. And it's been eventful that I notice in a lot of ways. Actually, in COINTELPRO ways. The media, the globalist media, that's why everybody comes to YouTube to get their media. Because they know that the globalist media is incorrect with everything they try to do. It's absolutely ridiculous. And here's what I'll tell you. You're seeing, even more important, and I can get into the Rosenstein and the events with him and Ray a little bit. I'll touch on it. You could tell Rosenstein was lying during the entire thing just by his little tells, his bouncing, his nervous tick, his dewy eyes, different things that you look for, signs of, you know, how somebody's trying to remember, if they furtively look away from you, different things, different cues. And you could tell he was totally lying, and you could tell Chris Ray was just like, okay, he's lying. You could see it in his face when he lied, because he'd be like putting his tongue in his cheek, trying to like look away or look down when an untruth was being told. But the one person out of this entire thing was Jim Jordan. He got a piece of Rosenstein's ass, and like a pit bull did not let go. He kept going after him on this. Okay, so I got some respect now for Jordan. Ray, I'm still tentative on, but I don't think, I might be shocked, just like I was with the Admiral, that he might actually be a decent dude. So I'm going to reserve my comments on Ray, but Rosenstein definitely was problematic during the hearings, and I believe Congress already has information. You could tell by some of the questions they asked him that Rosenstein really didn't, really didn't want to get into it, because he knew the travel trail that they were going down and how it would go. And so his evasiveness, it was just very telling. And I'm the foremost expert on my opinion, and that's what it looked like to me. Now, on with the show. The media. What you've been seeing lately is the media's massive propaganda campaign to push normalizing, first off, anti-American sentiment, which they have done forever. No big support or no big shock there, right? But it's becoming more blatant. They cover the a protest, and it's always going to be a shining light on anybody who's a lefty commie, and it's always going to be, terrible if it's a Christian gathering or whatever, And they've done this even when, remember, everybody who's my age or older remembers everybody going down for the 9/12 project into the state houses for the Tea Party, and how they went in and unwound all of that, right? Because they knew the people had a justified reason to protest. And you saw this happen. What you're seeing now is the same thing, except they're winding up the people who are railing against Trump. They're making them sound normal, and they're making MAGA guys, what was it? One of the congresswomen said that, or was it, I can't remember if it was a talk show host or a congresswoman, but one of them stated that, if you support Trump, you support a Nazi, so you're a Nazi. And they tried to use these children to divide. Well, first off, we're back in identity politics again. This is the silliness that the left always does. And I think it's going to bite them in the ass come the election time. And I'll tell you why. This identity politics where if you or I get arrested, they don't care about what happens to our kids. Worst case scenario, they go to CPS, Child Protective Service. But they're not going to be with the parents. I don't think I've ever heard of any children going to prison with mommy or daddy. But see, if you're an illegal alien and you cross the border and you have a child, and that child, here's the messed up part about this, and this is why they separate the kids, is because of human trafficking. And you look at how many of the kids went missing that were distributed around the East Coast and stuff, and you don't think that a percentage of them were human trafficked, given over to religious organizations like the Catholic Church? Oh no, I can't see a problem ever happening with that. Yeah, no. And other non-governmental agencies. So there's some issues that I'm seeing, and they're playing that identity politics, but it's going to bite them. And it's going to bite them in a harsh way, because I think during this election, what they think is going to be this big, massive blue wave, I don't think will come. I think that blue wave's going to crash right before it gets to the area. Somebody put a breakwater out there, and so that wave just, it might be a little tiny stream. I don't think they're going to have a massive Senate win at all. I think maybe they'll flip one Senate seat, maybe. And then on the House, I do not think they're going to take maybe 2 seats, maybe 3. I don't think it's going to be a rout. I definitely don't think it's going to put them in the position to be leading either the Senate or the House. Because what they're doing is making normal people, when you start telling normal people that because Trump, who's not a Nazi, is a Nazi, and that all of them are Nazis, you just turned off a lot of potential supporters for you that are Democrats, and you show your party to be the idiots they are. Now it's going to turn on the people on the East and West Coast. So you're going to have the Californiites and the New Yorkers show up in mass. So that's where you'll see little problems happen. But it will turn off regular Democrat voters, who will probably be so incensed that it will turn them on to voting for the Republican candidate, as what happened in the last election cycle with President Trump. So I think their barter is not going to work out just the way they wanted. Yep, no blue wave this year. Yep, everything that you're saying right now. Ryan Llewellyn is saying what these people don't get is no one new is angry at Trump since before the election. That's true. And Wilhelm said, no sir, no blue wave this year. That's right. Their coalition is too fractured. They don't have any money, and they're eating themselves. A red tide is coming the way through in 2020. That's true. Plus 2 more, and you know what? You're absolutely right. You're going to have 2 more SCOTUS picks. They already got Bader Ginsburg on an iron lung and, baby blood intervals going into her body to keep her alive. I mean, it's amazing. I don't want to see nothing happen to her. Do not put those words in my mouth. I hope the woman lives a long life. But there will be a time when she will no longer have the sensibility to serve the court. And, yep, they mistake the same people, admittedly large, getting worked up over and over again as more quantity. That's right. Their quality makes them their quantity, but the problem is they have no quality, and their quantity, yeah. And honestly, Democrats are normally not really turned on voters. You know, they're just issue voters because of my feels, not what's happening. It's how you make me feel. My heart's hurt because of these kids. I gotta get out and vote. But hey, I hate Trump too, so fuck Trump, fuck Trump. Yeah, okay. And then throwing around Mexican flags and stuff with some of the silly shit they're doing. Yeah, you're turning off the average worker. And right now, you can't afford to do that because the average worker's paycheck and wallet is fat. Making more money. You know, so they're failing, and Trump's been winning. I'm not saying he's perfect. Never conflate the two. He's admittedly not perfect, but he's done a lot better job than any president besides Reagan in my lifetime. I was a very young kid when Nixon was in, but from what everybody told me during that time, they were upset that he just covered that crap up. Well, you're seeing the same thing happen with the Dems. DOJ, FBI, all the intelligence agencies, I've been saying this for a long time, they have been working steadfastly as the deep state to get rid of the people's choice. This is what they're doing. Yep, they've backed a lot of normies into the corner with their rhetoric and actions. That's right, Ryan. And you said quote-unquote normies. I want to make sure that I read it correctly for you, brother. So here's what you're seeing right now. With this going on, yep, they've removed all room for negotiations. That's just where I was going, Willem. And there's no way that they will negotiate because they have to silence your voice. Your voice must be silenced. You cannot say anything because you're a Nazi and Nazis don't deserve to speak. Okay, whatever. It's ridiculous. So here's my thought process on this. So you've destroyed the reputation of several federal agencies. Okay, now think about this. Most people who listen to my podcast are military, and they will understand this. Cops cannot do their job without the support of the people because cops are outnumbered by the people in large mass quantities. And you saw the outrage when Black Lives Matter, that guy executed 6 police officers in Dallas. You saw the outrage when different things happened, and it was backblast against BLM, right? You see these outrages. So that means the public still supports them. Now the FBI, DOJ, and a few other agencies, and it's not ICE. I'm not including ICE, I'm not including CBP, and I'm not including Border Patrol. The American people still want them to do their job because they have not shown the same hatred and the same bias. Okay? So now you have them besmirched and smeared. Whether that was their intent or not, that is what they did. The deep state showed their hand. And there is no room for negotiations now for the people because they have a lower rating now than Congress, and I never thought I'd ever see that. So, their reputation's sullied. Now, you have the media. This is the soup I'm talking about that they're making. Now you have the media vilifying an organization that does their job. But they're supporting DOJ and FBI and CIA and everything. But they're going against CBP, all offices of it. ICE and Border Patrol also. They're smearing them, which the people support. And they're also raising up groups like BLM, La Raza, all these different organizations. They went right back into identity politics because it's election season and Democrats don't have another playbook. And the communists, they know they can't call it communism anymore. They have to call themselves, progressives. Oh, well, progressives tainted now. So now they're calling themselves socialists. Look at what happened in New York with the girl that's promising free everything. I hope she wins, honestly. It'd be fun to listen to her on the House. Another, the woman from California, Maxine Waters. she'll just be another one of them and grow, the same way, and it makes them look bad. So I don't care. The American people are going to be the final arbiters of this. I'm not. Nobody on my page are. We're going to have one vote. Every one of us gets one vote. And we can make, yep, she's anti-Israel too. Oh yeah. She, right now the Israeli industry and the Democrat Party are giving her a pass, but they'll grip up on her as soon as she comes into office. That's just a given. But yeah, give her all the time she needs, because she's just braiding her own demise. But going back to what I was saying is, so you have this perfect stew, and I think she might not win too, because a lot of normies will be like socialists, outright. Even in New York, she could win. I mean, I don't know. I'm on the fence on that. I think it could turn off some of the working voters, but depending on how vibrant the district she's running for is, it could be a match fire. It could spark, an entire. She could sweep it. And okay, yeah, there you go. So well, if they, but I bet they will not talk about her anti-Semitic views in that district with all those Jewish folks that live in that district. Yeah. So yep, both of them. Like I said, how vibrant the area. It's going to be a good one, but I do hope she wins, just because I like it when they have people like Maxine Waters and others in there. I can't remember the guy's name, but he said that you put too many people on Guam and Guam will flip over and capsize. He's a class act. He reminds me of that feller that used to be on In Living Color. It was called the Wino or something. I can't remember what they called him. But he would be like, the pontification of the reclamation of the decimation will cause the infiltration. Yeah, it just slung big words together that didn't have any connection. It was hilarious. But that congressman does the same thing. I wish I could remember his silly name. But yeah, exactly. So the red pill dispensary will be open on this one, I believe. But anywho, so you have this witch's broth, this witch's stew, fomenting. Now you have the media and media sources, just like when the media got attacked. It was a guy who had a grudge against them for besmirching him, right? And this has been going on for years, right? But you have one media guy, instantly, he got fired, but instantly said, right before he started shooting, he pulled off his red MAGA hat. That didn't happen. We find out he's a lefty. We find out it was a personal grudge. Look, the guy who shot at Scalise was a lefty. A Bernie bro. The guy that went and attacked Rand Paul was a lefty. A Bernie bro. So, but they're still pushing the narrative of civil war. Anybody who's heard my shows, anything I've ever been on, I've always stated one thing. The people that want to LARP about civil war, and that's why I like having a small channel, because you guys, if you don't know me, you're military, so you know what I'm talking about. A civil war, I make my living working in unhealthy states. I know what they look like. I know what it looks like before they fall. I also see how people destabilize nations. Okay? And what you're seeing right now is a media destabilization project. And they're saying, quit calling us fake news, quit calling us this, quit calling us that. Well, there's a reason why people are coming to YouTube for the news. And I'll tell you the reason. Is because you're not getting the bias. I can make jokes about stuff. I can tell you my bias. My bias right now is to keep America together, because no matter whose LARPy, accelerational, masturbational fantasy of starting a civil war it is, on which side, I'm not into it, because I know what an unhealthy state looks like. And I'll tell you what it looks like. Retribution killings. It looks like end of rule of law. Nobody's safe. But that's what the media is pushing. You're not going to have a police force. Yeah, that's exactly right. You're exactly right, Willem. Civil war and civil unrest is the only way to keep their coalition together. Diverse groups traditionally only stay intact under threat. If a civil war kicks off, that would be their glue. And you're exactly right, and that's why the media is doing it. Like I said, this is all COINTELPRO, Black Ops. Look, you can look to Gloria Vanderbilt's grandson, Anderson Cooper, who was an intern in the CIA. And you think Operation Mockingbird stopped when they said it stopped? That's why the post on this has that picture of Operation Mockingbird. You'll write what we tell you to write. You'll report what we tell you to report. That's a fact. The corporate media, the globalist media, has one thing in common. You can go to any one of the channels and you'll hear the same talking points. And I'm even talking about Fox. They may have a right-wing spin to it, slight spin to it. Now, some of the commenters are fair. Hannity's pretty down the line. Carlson, a lot of the people, but see, then they always bring on, because they still want to have equal time, and some of these people they bring on as guests, I'm like, why? Judge Janine? I mean, Judge Janine's right down the line. She's stalwart, but I'm saying they all bring these same pundits online that drive me nuts. One guy is an Obama supporter, worked on the Clintons, and the other guy worked on Obama and Hillary, and it's all incestuous. And that's what everybody's sick of. When you said drain the swamp, it didn't just mean the politicians. It meant the people covering them too, because they cover up. Look, media went astray when they picked a side in the 60s. And 70s it came to flower. Go back and look at what the media used to write, a lot of in praise of the Weather Underground and those leftist groups. And now you have leftist groups saying that they're going to start bombing campaigns again. What? What? Maxine Waters saying you've got to start confronting, getting around them. Yeah. Everything she's saying is incitement to violence. It's not good. And that's the problem. So, what is the solution? I think I'm going to stew on that, because I do believe I have a partial solution, at least a temporary solution, a stopgap measure solution. But I have to have it more reasoned. I can tell you some interesting things that I do see this, but I will tell you some positivity. This is not all gloom and doom. I've seen positivity on a lot of aspects. Why I may disagree with some of these people vehemently, personally, at least they're having a conversation. So I can actually tell you what I think the genesis of my thoughts are right now. There's a lot about these people, some of these people that I disagree with vehemently, as I state. But what I do see is a conversation happening. Even uncomfortable conversations, which should have been happening the entire time Obama and Bush Jr. were in. Because those uncomfortable conversations, instead of them being shut up, you're wrong, civil discourse, and they're calling for an end to civility. Well, okay, that doesn't make sense to me, but okay, if that's what you think. I mean, it seriously does not make sense on any level to me. But what I'm seeing take root within what they are now, quote-unquote, calling the intellectual dark web. As I state, I'm not a fan of the people, but I'm a fan of the process. They're talking civilly. That is what I think the cure can be. But I have to really delve into my mind for a few days to figure out how. And just my 2 cents on it. But I think civil conversation and the hard conversations, it may not stop it completely, especially as the media is pulling. Look, they're even calling the intellectual dark web the alt-right Nazis. And that includes Joe Rogan, who's a liberal. It includes Eric Weinstein and his brother, I can't think of his brother's name, Brett Weinstein, both of them screaming liberals. A homosexual liberal by the name of something Rubin. And Peterson. Jordan Peterson. So you have these people coming together and they disagree about a lot, but they're having the conversation, and that's what I think the cure in the end can be. So that's my 2 cents. You guys can disagree with me or not. I have no qualms about it. If you guys have other ideas, let me know when I'm doing that podcast. If you guys think on this, you tell me where I'm failing with my reasoning on more conversation, not less. And if you think I'm wrong about violence, then tell me. But, I don't think I'm wrong. And you guys being in the military, none of you liked war when you saw it. It can become an addiction or whatever, but it doesn't mean that you enjoy it. It's not like coming home every day and turning on a light switch, cooking yourself a steak. But the important thing is July 4th is coming up, folks. July 4th is not the 4th of July, it is Independence Day. We celebrate the date. We got our independence to think for ourselves, to be the people and raise our families the way we want, to have freedom of speech, to have a right to defend ourselves and our property. And if I don't do one on 4th of July, which I'm hoping to do, I want to make sure I wish every one of you on my page a happy Independence Day. We stand on the shoulders of giants. With that being said, that's all I have to say. Shove out.